Well, I just heard from Amber Lawley. I want to take this time to thank them for sponsoring our shows last week. They called to let me know that my subscribers bought a lot of their CBD lotion. I was really happy to hear that. As their way of saying thank you to my subscribers, they are now offering you this deal. For every 3 items you buy, the 3rd item will be free. That's right. So every time you buy 3 items, the 3rd item is free. Just use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and the 3rd item is free. One thing I've learned about this lotion, not only does it help with joint pain as well as muscle pain, but man, it makes your skin really smooth. So as an added bonus, not only does it help with joint and muscle pain, it also helps out with making your skin very smooth. An added bonus. So go on over there to Amber Lawley, and remember, for every 3 items you buy, the 3rd one is free when you use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y. Go check them out.
Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? All right, there's a lot of chitta-chatta, as you are well aware, after the videos that I posted, just pointing out some interesting facts about Chapter 7. And already in there, people are like, well, you know, they said this and they said that, so it's not going to happen. What do you mean it's not going to happen? First of all, the video was just showing you the possibilities from Chapter 7, and that there seems to be some interesting movements happening that line up for a possible RI and RV. Now, I'm one of the YouTubers that don't go out and pump hopium up people's butts. I just don't. I keep grounded, and I tell you guys, look, all these people out there promising you dates. Now I'm hearing what? Again, this weekend coming up, I'm hearing, is that the new thing now? That there's one of the gurus, who won't mention by name, Frank, is telling people that the weekend, that the rate's going to change? Is that right? Because this is what they do all the time. I don't do that in a video. There was nothing in there about a date, and there was nothing in there about a rate. But what I was pointing out is it definitely looks like the chances of an RV or an RI have increased once Iraq is removed from Chapter 7. You can just look at the wording in there. There's no doubt that they're heading that direction. As a matter of fact, now if you look at some of the news articles that are coming out recently, like today, you could see what looks like they are preparing themselves for a rate increase. Now, I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but it definitely looks like they're heading that direction. So again, don't run out and sell your house. Don't sell your kids. Don't sell your mother. Calm down, Sparky. We have been led down this road many times, and it has led to a dead end. But there definitely has been a lot of good news. That's for sure. And there's still some out today. Yesterday, I was talking about the increase in oil production, which happens to line up with what Iraq wanted to do in an earlier energy plan that they had. All of these things increases the value of the dinar. But there's still some major parts missing in order for the dinar to keep from collapsing. One of them is you have to have other sources of income besides oil, because if the bottom falls out on oil again, guess what? Your country is screwed all over again. So the private sectors need to be built. But I'm watching some interesting wording in some of these articles that make you go, man, believe it or not. I keep telling people it's going to go up in increments, but a lot of these articles appear to be pointing at an RI or an RV. And trust me when I tell you, I don't say that lightly, because I don't fall for that. I think they're going up in increments, but I am going to show you what I'm talking about. Before we get started, hit the thumbs up button, because when you do, it helps us get past the algorithm that YouTube puts on us and keeps us from being shadow banned. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. The disclaimer here is I'm not a financial advisor, a lawyer, or an accountant. The information that I share with you, I do freely. It is of my own opinion. Hey folks, just a quick reminder that back in 2008 and 9, a lot of people lost all of their retirement savings and their 401ks and IRAs because they did not own gold and silver. Yeah, that's right. Gold and silver protects you from a market crash. So do yourself a favor, protect your retirement by purchasing gold and silver. You can go to moneymetals.com, reach out to them, and they will help you set yourself up to protect you and your family from having to start all over from scratch. If you're a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and they will send along with your order a free half ounce of silver. So folks, do yourself a favor, head on over to moneymetals.com and protect you and your family from a market crash, as well as inflation. That's right, head on over to Money Metals when you want to buy gold and silver. Keep in mind, if you're a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a free half ounce of silver. Hey, right now, a special offer for my audiences only. You have a chance to win 100 free American Silver Eagles. That's over $3,000 in value. And all you have to do is enter your email to win. That's it. That's right, there's no obligations to purchase. The link is down below in the description. So head on over there, enter to win. You have between now and December 31st of this year to enter. The only way you can for sure not win 100 silver American Eagles is by not entering at all. So do yourself a favor and enter your email so you have a chance to win. People keep asking me, where is the link, Pimpy? It's real simple. If you're at my page on YouTube and you're watching any of the videos, any of them, you see the video here and you scroll down, see my name right here? If you go here where it says show more and you click it, here's all the links to the things you have access to. If you want to enter into the competition to win 100 free medals, just click it right here and it'll take you to the website where you can sign up. Okay, so let's get back to Iraq. What do we know so far? Well, here's what we know. There's an understanding with the Sadr's movement. Remember, the Kurdistan Democratic Party is part of the Shiite forces. They're all part of the same group of people that Sadr hangs out with. But there's one group who are not very happy about what happened in the election. They want to be in control, those Iranian-backed puppets. Sadr is a nationalist. He's all about the Iraqi people, period. Nobody else, just Iraq. And I respect that. The two blocks together are powerful. That means Kurdistan and the Sadrist people will form the government. A member of the Kurdistan Democratic Party, Omar, confirmed that his party has a reproach with the Sadrist movement, but it has not reached this stage of agreement. Yikes, huh? So is it possible for other groups to team up and keep Sadr from forming a government? Of course there is. If you get enough of them together, it's about whatever group collectively holds the most amount of seats. Now, Sadr is way up there with his people. He's got like 72, 73 seats. But if you get enough of the people who oppose him together, then he does not control, goes into the government. Again, there's a lot of talk about what's going on with ISIS. They seem to be rearing their ugly head, but only in little tiny attacks around Iraq. Let's hope that it doesn't lead to anything bigger. The last thing you want is those members of the Taliban coming all the way from Afghanistan or other terrorist groups coming from Afghanistan into Iraq, helping ISIS with any types of attack. We don't want that. To be quite honest, I don't think that's going to happen. But it isn't going to keep ISIS from at least making an attempt. America confirms its commitment. Baghdad and Erbil can count on us to end ISIS. Yeah, I mean, if it was 45 in office, I would really feel confident about that statement. In case you guys are unaware of this, during 45's administration, he killed 9 terrorist leaders. 9. And how many of them did you hear about in the news? Baghdadi, General Soleimani, in which they called them holy men. Remember, the media literally told us that Trump killed holy men. So I would feel a lot more confident if 45 was in office about that statement. But let's see how Biden intends to do. Let's hope he can at least formulate a sentence that's cohesive enough for us to understand what exactly he wants to do over there in the Middle East. So anyways, it goes on throughout this article. It just talks about how the U.S. will be on standby as an advisory role. So the coalition, they'll be advising on all the same normal things, tactics, supplying them with intelligence and aerial support, although they said they won't be flying around in the airs any longer. So it's going to be interesting. It said, anyways, during the meeting, which was attended by the U.S. ambassador to Iraq and the U.S. consul general in Erbil, several issues were discussed, including the election and the results, expectation for the future of the political process in Iraq, dialogue between Iraq parties, efforts to form a new federal government, security, military and economic conditions in the country, ISIS attacks, and coordination between the Peshmerga, the army, and relations between Erbil and Baghdad, the Iraq-American strategic dialogue, and opportunities for developing relations between the two sides. I think whenever it comes to any type of large group, especially a terrorist one, attempting to take over your country, these people should come together real quickly. Okay, that's what you hope, anyways. As we were discussing before, Halabasi and McCork discussed ending the combat role of the international coalition forces in Iraq. So again, not only is the United States leaving, but so are international coalition forces. This is just a major step forward for Iraq being truly sovereign, a sovereign nation. This is one of those articles that I was talking about, which gives you the impression that they're definitely going to do some type of RI or RV. One of the things that helps strengthen a currency is your foreign reserves. How much you have, that does play a big part of it. Stability in a country, security in a country, a strong economy, exporting more than you're importing. All these little things play a huge part in deciding what your currency exchange rate is. But listen to this article. The central bank reserves jumps up to $64 billion. And an important U.S. decision is awaited by Iraq. Like the removal from Chapter 7, hopefully? Yeah? But look, this is huge for the international reserves, okay? That's a big amount of money. A senior source at the Central Bank of Iraq said the hard currency reserves at the U.S. Federal Reserve rose to $64 billion due to the rise in the oil markets. The source also attributed the strengthening of the foreign monetary reserves to some important measures taken by the government in reference to the measures related to the fiscal and monetary policies included in the white papers. The source commented on the possible U.S. decision that, ready for this? It will bring significant financial benefits to Iraq. So there's going to be a decision made by the United States, and that decision would bring significant financial benefits to Iraq. Hopefully, it is the revaluation of gold, which was confirmed by the financial advisor to the Prime Minister, Saleh. Saleh said in a press statement that Iraq will reap a great benefit in light of the new monetary policy of the United States of America because the Central Bank of Iraq invests the least amount of its foreign reserves in the United States with the highest risk. What? What monetary policies are we talking about here? What do they know that we don't know? We know that the central bank people are meeting tomorrow. But look at this. It says we reap a great benefit in light of the new monetary policies of the United States. What new monetary policies? Have any of us heard about these monetary policies? No. So it kind of looks like they're letting the cat out of the bank. Again, I'm hoping it's the revaluation of gold. But anyway, it says the benefit in light of a new monetary policy of the United States of America, because the Central Bank of Iraq invests the least amount of its foreign reserves in the United States with the highest risk. That's confusing. What exactly is going to happen to our country that Iraq is going to benefit monetarily because of their low amount of investments is what it looks like. Invest in the least amount of its foreign reserves in the United States. Among the investments that Iraq is engaged in are short-term and interest-bearing assets, and these include treasury bonds and bank deposits, according to Saleh. Saleh echoes his words warning against borrowing from the American markets because that will be very expensive due to the high interest cost of loans. So that right there tells us that one of the things that the Federal Reserve is going to do, start raising interest rates. I heard they weren't going to start raising interest rates until June, but something tells me they're not going to wait till June. And right here, they're even saying, Saleh is saying that treasury bonds and bank deposits, according to Saleh, He's echoing his warning. It's a warning against borrowing from the American market. So whatever's happening over here, while the citizens are getting screwed, but don't go get involved with America, according to this article. The inflation index in the major countries of the world constitute an obsession that pushes them to motivate them to raise the dollar interest, And this is what the United States Federal Reserve plans to do. So there you tell you. So that's what they're going to do. They obviously caught wind of this before they made the announcement that they're going to raise interest rates, which decided the middle of next year to raise interest rates on a dollar. Okay, well, now they're saying they're giving you a time frame. So it looks like maybe they are going to wait till around June. Those indicators drawn by the United States data that Iraqis read are the increase in material returns and interest on Iraqi money, assets, and bonds in America, most notably the hard currency reserves in Washington. Something about this wording. The indicators drawn by those U.S. data the Iraqis read are the increase in material returns and interest on the dinar, on the Iraqi money. Now, we know they've been holding a very large amount of dinar here in the United States that was being invested into American interests. Apparently, it's bared some fruit. So they know what's going to happen. And it looks like the money that they left here, I think it was like $10 billion in an account. They gave up enough Iraqi dinars that was equivalent to 10 billion US dollars. And I've done videos about this telling you that they took that money. It was left here in the United States, and they were supposed to take that money and push it out into different areas in which Iraq would earn interest and dividends off their investments while it sat there. Well, this thing's been there since when? 2014? You guys can go back and watch my old videos and see for yourself. Very interesting to see what's going to happen here. What kind of monetary policies are they talking about? Is it just raising the rates? If that's the case, and Iraq's $10 billion invested into the country, how are they going to benefit from that? We know once they're out of Chapter 7, there's going to be a lot more assets turned over to Iraq. I try really hard not to get sucked down that rabbit hole when it goes to the RI or RV. I'm not saying it won't happen. I'm just saying there's too many major things that have to fall into place for that to happen, and it was my feeling that we would have the rate change in increments. But the very things that I know that need to take place for them to do an RI or an RV are actually playing out. It's happening. Oh man, I don't want to be jumping up and down doing the pee-pee dance. So anyways, this article looks good, you guys. We're going to find out this week real quick what it is exactly that's going to happen to our monetary policies that's going to benefit the Iraqi dinar. The federal court postpones consideration of the cases submitted regarding the election results to the 22nd of this month. Man, they keep bumping that sucker down the road. That's another 9 days. So there you have it, you guys. This is what I'm talking about. Very interesting things are happening. The huge increase in oil production, it's now going to be double of where it was. There are some new monetary policies coming, and we know that the Federal Reserve with the other central banks from around the world or media tomorrow, and whatever's going to come from it, Iraq's feeling pretty happy about it. At the same time, they're warning people from borrowing from our markets, which is pretty scary. We also noticed that they went from 10 billion in Federal Reserves up to above 60 billion. So let's keep an eye out what's going on in Iraq, you guys. Let's keep our fingers crossed. I don't think there's going to be any RI or RV called by this weekend. I know you guys are being told that. I could be wrong. We'll see. But if that's the case, then we know that the United Nations has to go ahead and fully admit and pull Iraq out of Chapter 7. They could do it all at one time. That's always possible, but we'll see. But other than that, there's no indication that the rate is going to change by this weekend. I know you guys are being told that. That's not true. There's no proof or evidence of that out there. Having said that, that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen by this weekend. There's too many things that would have to happen if that were going to be possible, and I doubt it. But it obviously does look like they're attempting to do something very shortly with the Iraqi dinar. Anyways, you guys hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. I'll catch you later. I'm out.